This brings us to our speaker spot. Every week at Business at Breakfast, one of the members gets the opportunity to share with the group further insights into their business or enlighten the group a little bit more about themselves. The member can use the time to problem solve or seek assistance and advice from the group as a collective. The time is theirs to use however they would like. Today, and I've been thinking about this for a while, but someone who's been in every week for weeks. Now, I've known this person for, this is my 12th week. I'm going on 12th week, right? I'm going to pick the wonderful Roger Scherrer. So Roger and I are in a group together. I've been teaching a group called Quantum Sound Therapy Group. And so Roger and I met over there, but Roger's been coming here and he just comes in and he just quietly goes about, he follows instructions, does elevator pictures, but he does this stuff with UFOs. And I thought that Roger might just have you give us a little bit of a history as to how you got into this in the first place, because I have to say I'm quite curious. I mean, we've had some one-to-ones, but even though we've had one-to-ones and chatted about this, it's still, it's moved from being, for me, a scary topic of, you know, aliens out there. I don't like the idea. Aliens out there, to being more curious, because, hey, you come out here, you know, and just sort of casually mention it every other week, and you're so placid about it that I think I'm starting to move a little bit sideways to, oh, well, I might open my mind up a little bit more. But hey, other people have probably thought, what is this curious thing that that Roger has been looking into? So I thought, Roger, I'd have you tell us really the history, how you fell into this space of UFOs and space and all this other stuff. So you can just, give us a quick history. We'll ask you questions and I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Back in 1986, on World UFO Day, I went to a presentation at our local library here in Tucson, Arizona. And I listened to the people talk, and I watched the videos that they presented, and it seemed interesting. And it was very quickly after that I got drawn into working with the Foundation for UFO Research, which Tucson was its headquarters. We also had a number of other things in town. Aerial Phenomena Research Organization, AFRO, was here, which I was aware of. And there was a fellow named James McDonald who was an atmospheric physicist and headed the atmospheric physics department at the University of Arizona. And he had appeared before Congress and testified about. So there was a lot of questions in my mind, and I got recruited, I'm not sure how, but sucked in easily, because I like strange and unusual, really weird stuff. It fits, I like to be able to go into the topic and then drill down really deep. And at the same time, I like to be able to help people. And just so you know, within that video link in the chat box, YouTube thing, is a video in which I participated quite a bit 30 years ago on the subject. But anyway, the long and short of it, I got involved. And I found out very quickly that I didn't know very much. Found it was a very complex subject. Found that all the books I could read in the university library, which was just short of 200, which I read in depth, everybody was going down a path. Then they suddenly made a left turn. Like they got to a place and then something happened and they went in another direction, which means they were not following the information that they were writing about. Something had influenced in some way, which today I will say is simply government or government elements. So where I went from there is I started seeking out individuals who were psychic, who had various abilities, whether it be telepathy or psychometry or any of the other varieties. And I was seeking from them information in ways that I couldn't get from normal sources. At the same time, because I was doing public speaking for the foundation, people would come and listen, and then they'd give me a lot of guff. But then what happened is people go out the door at the end of the meeting, and then there would be people who would start asking questions, wanting to tell me about their own experiences. In many cases, they were people that had encounters, which may have been and seemed friendly, maybe not friendly. So this was a real big box of worms. The most informed person that I find who could help me with direct experience was not Bud Hopkins, but a Black gentleman who was a doctor, a physician in California. His name was Dr. Neal. And he gave me some very, very good advice about how to begin to approach the problems that the individual is having. Because other researchers were looking at the problem, but they did not have solutions. And I'm solution-oriented. I'm a man. That's what men do. Men find answers, figure things out, and they fix things. That's why the woman hands you the hammer in the house. You're going to take care of it. So anyway, that's what I was doing. Then I met a wide range of people, but I also met a lot of people who were having experiences. I met some individual having telepathic contact with humans who were from a far different or a far distant area in the galaxy. These are the people that we know in broad spectrum terms as the Pleiadians. In other words, it's where the Pleiadian constellation is, in which the American Indians, people in Egypt, and all the rest of it, there's a whole star connection that goes in that direction. Pleiadians actually don't live in that system. They live about 2 seconds time shifted from the time stream we're in, and they have time capacity, their ships. They actually live about 87 years beyond where the Pleiades is in distance. And so for them to be able to come here, what they do is their ships have to move outside of their solar system, where the planets are, to a place, make a jump, which is instantaneous, and they jump from their area, our area, and then they spend another 3.5 hours coming into our solar system at the Earth. But they have the capacity to jump throughout our whole galaxy, literally in a second or two. So it's way faster. Light. Work. And I met someone who was actually directly in contact with Catholic. And that led to a whole range of experiences here in the Tucson area, even to a place where one point where I was interviewing a couple who had experience with what are considered to be the grays. During that time that I was talking with them, there were 3 individuals dropped in living room where this couple was and where I was. And we couldn't see them, but what we could see is like looking to the north against the window. We can see like a shimmering, like looking at a road on a very hot day, and you have the light reflects other stuff, it shimmers and so on. These people were obviously shielded. We could determine their height, which the center person was very tall, and then the other people shorter on each side. And as long as I talked about them, they stayed. And as soon as I stopped talking about them, they left. But they beamed in, bang, and they beamed out just instantly. We could tell the whole time that they were there. The apartment they had was very tastefully furnished. Meaning that it had hardwood floors and a throw rug or two and some furniture. So when in the conversation, there was a definite echo room from our conversation. The time that these individuals were there was no echo. Room was totally flat, sound. So anyway, I got to know and then spend a lot of years learning about these people, what they have to tell us about our planet and how long humanity has been on this planet. We got 7 races. Every one of them came from somewhere else. All of you are from someplace else, your grandparents. That's what they came to explain to us. The other thing is this. We have an asteroid belt. That is a planet that was settled by humans, then had a war, and they destroyed their planet, and they affected Mars at the same time. Life was lost there. And a lot of the material from the planet also went out into outer space, and it affected other planets. So they would like for us not have wars. Wars are not a good thing. They want us to learn to live in peace. Basically, as grandparents, they're concerned about us not destroying ourselves. And there's a wide range of technology that we've managed to maybe make some of ourselves. And if you remember, Ben Rich, who was the head of, I don't know, Lockheed or Northrop. Point is, before he died, one of the comments he made was, we can take ET home. Meaning that we had transportation systems, power systems, to be able to move across the galaxy. So a lot of what's going on is not really being told to us as individuals. A couple of things are very, very important right now. The whole solar system that we're in is being affected by an energy stream that's 180. This energy stream in 1884, we leave in the year 2028. What this is doing, this is raising the vibration of everyone and everything on the planet. And that is why we're coming into the year 2025. And Emmanuel, which many people know as Christ or Jesus, said that there would be many individuals that year that would have a similar consciousness and awareness did at the time he was here.
Roger,
And
I'm going to cut
yes,
in because I think we're all getting into this, but I've got to watch the time and I want people to ask you questions. So you can see, so here's an interesting thing, right? Roger is so passionate about this, right? And he's clearly looked at, I mean, what did he say at the beginning? I read over 200 books on the subject from all the books in my local library. And he's like right into this. And this is what I find fascinating about you, Roger. Like I find it a scary topic, although I'm becoming a little less scared of it because you show up every week and hey, you seem fine. So, you know, whatever your thing with the extraterrestrial is, you know, they've done all these weird experiments that, you know, TV shows make out that aliens do. And so I'm becoming slightly less scared. But I thought we'd just give us some time. Does anyone have any questions for Roger at all?
I can ask a question.
Yes, ask.
Hey Roger, I feel like I just lost time in listening to you. I'm like, oh, I've lost the concept of time, which is man-made anyway. But I guess my question to you is, what are the Palladians teaching us overall, and what is their warning to us?
number one is that our planet is overpopulated. They say that our planet, at the very best, can support 500 million. And the reason we are having climatic problems and that we're losing animal life, fish and birds, everything else, is because of the overpopulation. So we need to reduce population. The Georgia Guidestones, destroyed within the last couple of years, gave guidance as really how to govern ourselves and live peaceably on the planet. And so it's sad that they were destroyed for wrong reasons. But really need to be strict about reducing population. We're also mining and doing things like fracking, oil, and a lot of other things. We're affecting the planet in ways that are not healthy. The planet as a consciousness. You have to look at the whole of everything. In other words, everything we do that affects the planet affects our own survivability. So in looking out for ourselves, we also have to first place the planet first and its health first.
That makes sense.
So
No, thanks, Roger. That makes sense. I'm going to get Patricia because I'm mindful of time. But I think, Kat, has that helped answer your question? I can see Kat's going, I'm going to have a one-to-one with him. We're going to catch up and talk more. Like I'm watching that. All right, Patricia, what's your question?
Yes, I would like a one-on-one with you too, because half of what you said I did not hear because I lose some of the words. It went quiet, you know? So,
yes.
but I wanted to ask you, when it comes to spirituality, how do you see it, how do you say, agreeing with spirituality?
I've been involved in many different spiritual paths. I started out when I was young. I attended many churches in Christian churches. For the latter part of my life, I was a Methodist. Then I went into other things, studied other areas. And I've studied most of the world religions. And most of the religions are and were created by individuals that did not put love first. What they did is they set up a power system to control manipulate.
Mhm.
The Pleiadian Bajorans they speak of the creation. And the creation involves everything
Mhm.
from the littlest creature to the biggest. It's a very complex subject in many ways, but no matter where we are, we're in a religious place. If you look at the world's shamans, they understand, they communicate with spirits of all forms of spirits, and it's all part of everything. I'll just leave it at that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Roger. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger, for being our speaker today, and thank you, audience, for participating with some questions and listening in as well.